Okay.
Yeah. So again, if it's your money, it's your rules, it's your goals. If you are the priority, does your plan make you the priority? And that's some of you, the answer may be yes, and some of you, the answer may be no. But what I'm encouraging you to do is look at your behavior. I'm not telling you to cut off your cell phone. I'm not telling you not to have a car. I'm not telling you there's none of those things are wrong things. But which of those things do you value more than you value yourself? For me, the answer was none of them. I don't value anything in terms of financial resources and management more than I value myself. So I made myself a priority for my money. And so over the course of 25 years working, just like I paid a car note, each time I got a new car, each time I got a new cell phone, each time I did something new with my money, I paid myself more money. If I can go, I went from a Ford Escort to a Toyota Camry, and that car note went up, right? So guess what else I did? The amount of money that I paid myself went up, right? When I went from a Camry to well, I don't want to. My car category kept going up, and so my savings for myself kept going up, right? And then I got to a point as a parent, as a family person, where my car, the type of car that I drive, it's not relevant to me anymore as it was in my life. So I downgraded. But guess what I did at that point? I had more money. So now my savings went up. And so right now, still not working, I still invest every 2 weeks. If I'm in about 8 different chat groups for financial data and information that we share, because I believe good information can come from anywhere, right? So in all of those groups, every 2 weeks, I buy additional positions in the stock market. Every 2 weeks. Every month, I add to the Acorns. For those who's new, who has no platforms, who has no nothing. Okay, so here's the thing. If you're in right now, all of these platforms, all of them are just about free. They're not charging. That's not normal in the stock market. Normally, somebody mentioned Fidelity, there's TD Ameritrade. Robinhood is probably the only one that they created their platform for free, where you don't pay for trades and things like that. Normally, and after the pandemic and everything gets back to normal, pay attention. Some of these things will start charging for investment and moving the money around. If you're brand new and you're just starting, I recommend things like Acorn. Again, I don't own Acorn, and I'm not in it. I don't have a vested interest in them. But what Acorns will do is Acorns, you will set up your profile to say, I want to be aggressive, I want to be passive, I want this, I want that. And then they will pick the stocks for you. You don't pick, in Acorns, you don't pick the individual stocks, which is what you do on Webull, on Robinhood, on Fidelity, Fidelity may be a 401k, depending on what they have, but most of them, you're going to pick your own stocks. To start with something like Acorns, you can look at the markets in which they're putting your money and see the ones that perform the way that you want them to perform, that reach your goals. And then you can then evolve to picking your individual stocks. When you get to picking your individual stocks, the lead in investor strategists always tell you to pick Fortune 5 or the I can't think of the term right now, but you have the Coca-Colas, the Amazons, these major companies that the industry tells you, or fear tells you, oh, I don't get in the stock market because I'm going to lose all my money, right? That's the myth that was created to keep the common man and woman from participating in the stock market. So we're taught to use the banking market, right? We're taught to save. Well, the wealthy in this country use the stock market to save. I showed my daughter's 16. I said, I want you to see how money moves differently. So she had a CD. CDs is one of the ways that we would, as a family, we would save traditionally, because before the crash, CD rates were about 3 or 4%, which isn't great, but it's consistent and it's good. She had, I think, $1,600 in a CD, and it matured. So I said, well, let's take $600 and put it in Acorns. This was at the beginning, midway through the pandemic. And I said, well, take the other 1,000 that you have and we'll roll it into your CD at the same rate so you can see what you got. At the end of that 6-month trial period that we had, her CD had moved from $1,000 to about $1,006. The $600 had increased by almost $400 to where it was now $1,000, right? Same 6-month period. So she could have made, let's say the 600 double, let's say she would have made $12 with the CD, but she made almost $400 with the stock market. Now that's not a guaranteed return. It's not a guaranteed return. But even if she decided to pull that money out, she's up $400, right? There's no debating or arguing. So my daughter decided, well, hey, take the 1,000 out of this maturing and putting it in there. So she went from 1,000 to 2,000, and that's been about 2 months, and she's up to $2,300. So the compound variable factor in the stock market, when they tell you a CD or a bond or whatever you want, to gives you 3%, that 3% that they're speaking to you is annual, right? So it sounds, hey, 3% sounds like a good number. Well, that if you break that down and divide it by 365, that's 0.000 something way out there, where the stock market moves by those percentages daily. So you take, when they tell you, hey, the stock market has an average return of 5% annually, that is compounded on a daily, potentially on a daily basis. So think about that. $600 became $1,000. $1,000 became $1,006 during the same period. Just think if you're taking a slow approach and putting $50 a week, $50 a month, 50, whatever your capability is, and think about over 20 years, what that does for you, as opposed to keeping the money in a savings account, which is what we're trained and conditioned to do. So I'm gonna take a sidetrack real quick. So any business majors on here? Any business? Nobody business? Okay. So here's something to keep in mind. In the world that we function, there is a cost for convenience. Anytime something is made easier, there's a cost associated with that. Here's an example. A gallon of milk at a grocery store will cost you roughly $2.38. A gallon of milk at a convenience store normally is about $6.75 to $7. Same gallon of milk, same producer, same truck delivering. The reason that it costs more is because it's easier for the consumer to get in and out of the convenience store, and they're normally located closer to homes than a regular grocery store. It's a convenience. So when you apply that thought to the other things that you do for your generation, what they have conditioned you guys to do automatic checking or online bill pay, different things like that. Your car note comes out of your account on a certain day at a certain time. Well, when you go, if you've ever gone and bought a car, that when you buy the car, they say, well, what day do you want your car note? When do you want that set? Well, they set that because they want to maximize how much interest that they're charging you. There's a convenience. Some of them will charge you a fee to do it, and then they're going to maximize the interest rate. So remember, there's a charge. There's always a cost for convenience. So a couple of things. If you do not have anything right now that you're investing, I saw Erica and Vernus, the real Vernus, as he said it. Do y'all have savings accounts?
I have a savings account, but usually at the end of the month, I just put it in my regular account. I do have Robinhood. I just don't know what it is. I put money in it and it raised like $15, but I have no idea. So that's all that I know.
When you say your regular account, what type of account is your regular account?
Oh, like a regular checking account, I guess, through Wells Fargo.
Okay, so keeping money if you have, let's say, normally at a bank, you have a checking and a